All right, so let's jump into it. So I saw a piece of it about relationships these days and how this individual feels about it. Now, I resonated with a lot of what he was saying, so I didn't even finish the video. I watched a good chunk of it and I said, you know what, I'm gonna react to this. I'm gonna react to the whole video and then some of it live because, yeah, I think that that's really what we're dealing with these days. Although some people can make the argument or do make the argument that, oh, it's always been this way. The only thing that's different now is that social media has amplified that and now it's in your face. But I don't know. I feel like I lean more on the side of right now where relationships are concerned. The space is getting worse. At least as of right now. But yeah, let's get into this video.
I'm starting to realize a lot of the reasons why dating ain't working for me. And the major reason is because most of it comes down to manipulation and being fake, right? And I'm gonna state my claim here real fast, right? So boom, I had a shorty, right, that I talked about in my last video. She came up to me and told me I'm handsome while I'm dancing in the club with my boys, right? And I secured her number, boom, right? And then I was like, hey, what are you doing tomorrow? We could go on a date. You know what I'm saying? I said that via text message. And then she said, I'm not looking to date right now, which I 100% respect. But then she says we could study together. And I'm just like, so what was the point of saying I'm handsome and then offering to study together? Maybe that's her way to, like, you know what I'm saying? It's cool. Like, I wasn't tripping about it. But people in the comments, this is where I was like starting to realize what the problem is, right? People in the comments is like, bro, you can't, first of all, you can't be setting up a date too soon. You gotta act like you're unavailable. What the fuck? Bro, because I wanna go on a date with a shorty the next day because I know I'm not doing nothing. I literally will be out of town next week. I'm like, I guess.
I never got into that movement. Never got into that movement. Acting like the manipulation, acting like you're more busy than you are, that type of BS, which again is kind of part of the reason. Well, I wouldn't even say it was part of the reason, because I have been in a season for a lot of years right now, but I still consider myself to be in a season where I'm grinding, bro. I don't really have, at least where my priorities are concerned, they haven't really been looking at a woman where I'm looking for, oh yeah, let's look for a partner where we can try to push this long term. So at least for me, and I know plenty of others, but for me, and that was never my reality. So I never really had to act like I was busy. I was genuinely busy. I had stuff to do, still have stuff to do. So it becomes easier, but you would have people who would have the manipulation and act like they got stuff going on where they really don't. That stuff gets exhausting.
It's coming off desperate or something, when it's just like, I really don't have nothing to do tomorrow. We might as well go out tomorrow, you know what I'm saying? And she was with it. She's just not open to date, right? And then here's another thing that they said. They was like, you can't flat out be telling shorties you want to date. So I'm supposed to lie and be like, yo, let's hang, let's chill. You feel me? Like, you feel what I'm saying? Like, at least when I told her I'm trying to date, you know what I'm saying? She knows my intentions, you know what I'm saying? But I guess me being too direct, you know what I'm saying? It's not like I'm saying, hey, shorty, let me pull down your pants, you know what I'm saying? Go crazy. That's crazy. I ain't say that. I don't agree with that. I'm not saying go straight for the kill. I'm saying, hey, this is my intentions. Let's go on a date. Let's chop it up and get to know.
This guy is funny though. Shout out to Hex Speaks. Lord Heck. Been watching him for a minute. Especially even his first channel when I used to do some dancing too. So yeah, definitely funny dude, man.
Each other that way. You know what I'm saying? So now you know it's a date. You know what I mean?
And you be speaking facts too.
I guess the word date is pressure. I don't know. But a lot of people's like, yo, you should have never said that. I've told girls in the past, let's go on a date, and they was cool with it. They was smooth with it, right? And then another comment was like, yo, she's not down to date you. She is dating though, but she's just not down to date you. So I'm just like, what's the point of calling me handsome then, if you ain't gonna date me though? You feel what I'm saying? I don't know. Maybe it was just like a harmless
manipulation, man. I tell you, or sometimes you never really know what's going on in people's minds, but you do have a good chunk of people that'll just do that stuff for manipulation to get some sort of reaction, to just get some sort of attention, whatever it is, man. And it's really that's really one of the reasons out of the other few why I don't even give that sort of stuff any attention. If I'm genuinely attracted to somebody, I'll talk to them, I'll, make the subtle moves or whatever and work your way up. But the moment I get any sort of hint or any sort of nuance that, yeah, they're not really feeling, bro, I'm stepping away. I got other stuff to do. You might have spent a little time here and there, again, getting experiences and, just seeing where stuff goes. But at the end of the day, bro, I have my priorities. I have what I'm focused on primarily. And I'm not about to spend extra time doing all this manipulation BS that he's gonna talk about some of it just to do what? Just to, bust a nut, bro? Like, what are we talking about here, bro? It's crazy, man. But I get it, though. Everybody different, though, Everybody's different. That's a whole different conversation, too, about how there's a shortage of, men being able to experience those kind of stuff. But couldn't be me. Not with what I'm focused on and what I'm doing right now.
This compliment, but she took the number. We had a brief conversation. So I'm just like, what? Right? But another thing that I'm hearing is that you can't be texting back too quickly because that's gonna prove that you got no options. Bro, I don't have options, my nigga. I don't. And I don't be doing shit all day. I have downtime like a motherfucker. I'm a content creator and a dancer. That's how I make my bread. If I'm not at rehearsal, if I'm not making content, I ain't doing shit else. I'm chilling, right?
Yeah, and he goes to talk about, we're not even halfway through the video, but he goes to talk about how he's kind of doing what he was in the season that I'm in right now. So he's talking about there are times where you're super busy. You don't have time to be messing around with females, but you just gotta really lock in. You don't have time to be, always going out doing different things. You gotta lock in at this moment in time in the season. So when you actually have free time, you have free time. So you're gonna reach out to somebody and say, hey, you down to hang out tonight? Yeah, I'm down to hang out. It doesn't matter if you met them yesterday or if you met them last week. It doesn't matter. If you have time, you have time. And that's how I look at it too. So I resonate with what he's saying here because I've fallen into that space too where emotions are emotions at the end of the day, and you might play into let me try and act like I'm busy, or let me not respond to this right now because they might think that I'm just always available. Yeah, man, it's crazy, man. I can't do that.
Right? I didn't call y'all hoes. I didn't call y'all the hoes. He said this, right? I'm just reading the shit the way I got it in my text. And I said, LOL, what does that mean? He said, tell them hoes you don't want a relationship. Not looking for anything serious unless you find something that catches your eye. Exactly what the fuck I was just telling. So I'm not supposed to tell shorties that I'm trying to date. I'm just supposed to be like, yo, let's chill. Right? Let me know if I'm bugging, right?
The problem is not everybody's like this, but you have, again, a lot of the people that are doing this type of movement, and they're the ones who are getting most of the screen time. So it seems like everybody's like this. So now the people who are actually looking for relationships are now the people that actually don't want you to manipulate them like that, who don't play into that kind of BS. They can't find who they're looking for either. So it's a dumpster fire. It's a whole mess.
Gotta be a little bit more toxic and not make it easy. Hoes don't respect an option. I'm not understanding why the fuck do I gotta be a little bit more toxic? If I have to be, this is the problem. This is the problem with this logic, right? And if this is the reality of the situation, I'm good. I'd rather be single, right?
That's exactly what I said, bro. That is exactly what I said. It just so comes to happen that I've met a solid person at my workplace, at a place I used to previously work. But that is not the reality for most people. That's the crazy thing. But for the longest, and that was my mentality, and that is still my mentality. If this is really how it is, and it's not just social media, this is really how it is, and that's kind of what I've seen in real life. If this is really how it is, bro, I'm good on dating, man. When I find the one, you find the one. When they come into your life, they come into your life, and when you're ready to go out there and actively look, then cool. But I am nowhere near where I would want to be doing that if I was in that position, where I would actually start to consider. So this is really the reality. I'm exactly, right now, agreeing exactly what he's saying. As far as I've gotten, I'm agreeing exactly what he's been saying, and it's been my reality too from what I've experienced.
That's probably why I'm having difficulty here, right? Because if I have to be a little bit toxic just to get your attention, that means I have to maintain that throughout the entire longevity of our relationship. Say, if we're
it just becomes exhausting.
Together forever, I have to be a little bit toxic, and that is outside of my nature. Stop calling me. I'm making this hot heat, right? Got a shorty calling me. You know what I'm saying? Not right now. Perfect example of me not being desperate. Anyways, where am I going? Boom. Yeah, he's like, you got to be a little toxic and not make it easy. I'm like, I guess me saying that I wanted to go on a date too soon made me come off easy, when it's just like, I'm not doing shit tomorrow. Might as well go on a date, because here's the other thing. If you wait too long, they lose interest, because there's 1,000 niggas throwing.
Exactly, and it's too much. It's too many factors you got to take into consideration where you're saying, bro, this is a whole job in itself. This is a whole job in itself. At this point, it's like job applications. But The mentality, I saw it on another video, the mentality you have to take is the same way you're putting yourself out there, you gotta have that mentality of an employer. The same way you putting yourself out there, but they have to prove themselves. That's not the word I'm looking for, but they have to prove themselves to you. You got to make sure you have your standards and you're not bending to BS. Because if you bend to stuff, then who's to say you're gonna let other stuff go down the road because you're afraid of losing this person? You have that scarcity mindset. You heard that a million times, I'm sure. I'm not the first person to say that. Hundreds of other people have said that. Scarcity mindset. There's over 7 billion, I always go back to this. There's over 7 billion, I think we passed the 8 billion mark. Ain't no reason to have a scarcity mindset. You focus on yourself, you get your income where you want it to be, and you have that freedom now to do a lot more of what you want to do and make more decisions based off of how you actually want to move, relying on somebody else and how they're doing stuff. That's the mentality I've developed over the time. So you spot on, man.
So it's like, let me just try to get the date done, you know what I'm saying? I'm expressing my interest. You see it, and if you reciprocate it, great. If you don't, it's great as well. It's okay. I didn't trip out when she said she didn't want to date me. I didn't say, yo, go fuck yourself. Because there's some niggas that they cannot take no for an answer. That's desperate energy. I can take a fucking no. I'll take the fuck out of a no. At least I know where I stand. All right, boom. You said no? Cool. I know that I can go somewhere else now. I don't have to waste my time here, right? That is the beauty of being direct. And I think me being direct is probably an issue in itself because it's like, I guess
yeah, everybody's snowflakes these days. Say everybody's a snowflake, man. You be too direct. Oh, you offended me, bro. You offended me. Oh, you gotta say it like that. It depends. In some cases, yeah, it depends on how you wanna. Your delivery does matter, but in other cases, it's actually more beneficial to be direct because you're telling people how you feel, and sometimes you actually have to do that. Otherwise, you get misunderstood.
Not supposed to be direct. I don't know. I don't know. Like, I'm getting all kinds of advice. You know what I'm saying? And this shit don't make sense to me, right? And here's another thing. He was like, gotta be a little bit more toxic. Yeah, that was basically his point, right? So here's another point. You gotta be like disrespectful and can't show no humility. Like if you have any emotions as a man, you're being labeled sassy, gay, all type of different shit. And it's like, bro, did you forget I was a human being, bro? You think I'm just like this the whole time? Like a zombie? Like it's like as a man, you can't even express a slight bit of humility. Like if a shorty gets mad at you, and then you know what I'm saying? If a shorty is mad about a situation and then she gets mad at you, right? And then you get like upset about the situation as well. She get mad at you for being mad about the situation. I don't know if it's making sense, but I think y'all understand what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, I literally like a couple weeks ago, I was dealing with the shorty. If y'all had watched that video about the worst date of my life, I dealt with a shorty, and basically we had a whole car situation with that, right? But we had a slight conversation, like before, talking about, as a man, you're not allowed to vent. I'm like, whoa, because she was like just venting about her problems and shit, and I was listening. And then she was like, she just randomly spurred out, like, as a man, I just know like some of these men is just like, I don't want to hear a nigga vent, like, what the fuck? So I posed the question. I was perplexed. I learned that word today, you know. Start reading books, y'all. Perplexed, right? I was perplexed by this shit because I'm like, so hypothetically speaking, right? If I had a bad day, right, and I just wanted to, you know what I'm saying, confide in you and kind of talk to you about it, like some bullshit that was happening or like something happened. She was like, she cut me off mid-sentence. She was like, yeah, I don't want my man to do that. What the fuck? I'm the woman in the relationship. Why?
And that's a problem. That's honestly a problem in itself too. But I think that's a whole nother video to dig into. But I mean, that's a problem in itself.
Why the fuck are you venting to me about that? And it's just like, I don't like that. I already knew like, nah, this ain't gonna work, right? And I'm not saying I'm gonna come to my joint for every problem I have in a book, but it's like, bro, you telling me I gotta go conquer the world, I gotta go conquer work, I gotta conquer myself, I gotta conquer, and then the lady I choose to be with, I can't even vent to you about some shit.
And this is supposed to be your life partner. So again, man, and some people, what's crazy is that some people actually settle for these kind of people, and that again, that is another reason as to why I'm always an advocate of working on yourself. I will always stand on that side of other people that say that, because if you work on yourself and you're somebody who's experienced what it's like to go through hardship in some way, shape, or form, you automatically, in many cases, I mean, again, not everybody's the same, but generally speaking, you're gonna go through enough to make you have some sort of value for yourself. You're not gonna put up with this kind of stuff as much. But again, that's a problem, because you have celebrities who still have gone through hardship or whatever, and they still put up with stuff, because again, they might either have that scarcity mindset, you go back to that, or they run into a situation where they don't really care to fix the problem. They don't care to fix the problem. And again, that's something I would never want to allow myself to run into. So always having the mindset of, again, not having a scarcity mindset, and then also being self-aware, constantly checking myself, making sure that I'm moving where I want to move, I'm on path to where I want to be getting to, and I'm not allowing for BS to fly. I'm not letting for bullshit to fly, man. So, I mean, it's crazy that people put up with this stuff. To me, it's crazy, but some people, they say, hey, I'm gonna deal with it. To some people, they say they'll deal with it, but couldn't be me.
Shit that happened today or some slight shit, you gonna look at me like I'm a bitch? That's crazy. Like we don't as men, we are not allowed to express our emotions, and that's why niggas be going off. I'm not even gonna cap. Like, we have no outlet to say shit, right? The only outlets we have is art, which is like music and all type of shit. You know what I'm saying? That's why we have a lot of quote unquote.
Yeah, for the longest artwork, music was my outlet. So again, I agree 1,000%.
Music, that's what they call it. When it's just niggas just pouring their heart out and talking about their struggles and growing up in the hood, especially in rap music. There's a lot of pain in rap music, bro. Niggas don't have an outlet, bro. That's why they be out here wilding. If we had a space where we could, like, you know what I mean? Where dudes will come together and be like, yo, you good, you know what I'm saying? You can vent about it, but let's find a solution. You know what I mean? It's not that. You vent to other dudes or to your own shorty. You a bitch.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's the problem. If you are talking to your partner and they're looking at you like that, that's not your partner, bro. Unless you're fine dealing with that, then that's different. But if you have to deal with your partner and your partner is looking at you different for telling her stuff that you're going, now it's different if you there are levels to it. There are levels to it, because some people will call you a bitch for the smallest shit, but there's levels to it, right? If you're crying about every single thing, I mean, this person isn't a therapist, but at the same time, if you're going through stuff, you should be able to talk about that and be in a safe place. If your partner does not feel like you are in a safe place, what the hell are you doing? Again, and some people, it's almost like they don't know better, so they deal with it and think that this is the norm. I've seen enough good relationships to understand this is how it's supposed to go. If I can't get this, then I'd rather be alone, bro. I'd rather be single at the end of the day. I don't know, man. That's how it goes.
It's very rare.
If you allow yourself to put up with it.
I'm so glad I have the friend groups that I have, because it's like, bro, we can vent to each other about shit, right? And that is such a beautiful thing, bro. And but I guess to the shorties that I mess with, they just don't bang with it, right? It's just so backwards, bro. It's like you can't act like you're too available when it's like, I ain't doing shit right now. What the fuck else am I supposed to do?
And that's why some people say they're just not gonna deal with dating. They're just not gonna deal with dating because it's just all over the place, and it's on both sides. That's
just stupid, right? And a lot of people will say, oh, you gotta actually pack out your schedule. I'm not into doing that. I'm not a hustle nigga. I'm not doing that. I done spent a good chunk of my life hustling, and that shit burnt me the fuck out, right? I'm not doing that. And even when I was doing that, when I wasn't too available, shit still wasn't working. On God. It's just like, the thing that I would get is that you work too hard. You never have time for me. So it's like, my nigga. It's like, bro, I've had so many situations where, like, I would have a girl that I'm talking to in the past, but they'd be like, bro, all you talk about is YouTube, like, you just be working, you never have time for me. And it's just like, what do you want me to do? Like, I'm trying to get this
it's
tape.
Almost like you have to find it's another factor that you have to take into consideration, and it's a whole another responsibility. You can't be too available, but you also can't be too busy. And then it's a constant game. And unless you want to play that, you have to actually, again, focus on yourself. And when the right one comes around, they come around, or when you're ready to actually look for the right one, then you can spend that time. But if you don't, and you allow for BS like this to happen, then that's the type of stuff you're gonna have to deal with. And that can never be me, bro.
I'm trying to make it out the hood. So it's like not being available, not being too available. It's like, bro, I think that advice is reserved for people. Like, if you gotta manipulate your way into a girl liking you to raise the attraction, she don't fuck with you. It's just that, like, real shit. If I have to put on this act just for her to fuck with me, bro, she don't really fuck. Like, I gotta convince, this is an act to convince her to raise points to fuck with me, bro. It's not genuine attraction. And I guess there's a lack of genuine attraction out here, right? And that's okay. I might not just be that dude. That's cool. You feel what I'm saying? But it's like, I'm not about to sit here and act like I don't see a text message when I'm clearly just looking at it. I'm doing, all right, man, I'll put that shit to the side.
Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. If I have to do extra stuff to get your attraction level to where it is enough for you to date me, bro, that don't make no damn sense. That doesn't make no damn sense. Why am I going out of my way and doing a lot of extra stuff in order for you to get your attraction level to the point where you want to date me or you want to sleep with me? But that don't make no sense when you could go out somewhere else and you have people you could go out somewhere else and do little to no effort and get somebody who's possibly or very possibly more attractive than whoever it is you're trying to get with or trying to have a relationship with. It don't make no damn sense, bro. It don't make no damn sense. But if you live in a scarcity mindset, that's the type of stuff you're gonna run into. That is the type of stuff you're gonna run into, and it doesn't make sense to me, bro. I guess because I've trained myself mentally enough to understand that this stuff really doesn't make sense, and this is not normal. This is not how you're supposed to be moving, as far as whether it's talking to somebody and seeing where this goes as far as a relationship, or if you're trying to, you know, have some fun. That's it too. That's a different perspective. That's a different approach. But my guy, it's crazy, bro. It's honestly crazy. You cannot make this stuff up. That people think this is normal. You gotta manipulate actually being busy in order to, you know, get a female to mess with you. Crazy stuff, bro. But again, hey, look, if that's your approach and it works, then hey, but it couldn't be me.
Because there's been moments where I would exercise that shit, right? I would like, I replied 3 hours. And I replied 3 hours, and she wouldn't get back to me for another 3 hours. You see how that cycle starts? You see what I'm saying? And then that'll be like the new norm. Nah, I know that me, I need to communicate with whoever I'm talking to. All right? If it's a constant 3 hours, one text, another hour, three text, 6 hours later, another text, it's just like, bro, it's not gonna work. I can't do that. I can't. I just think that's dumb as fuck. Especially with someone I want to be with. Why can't we practice, you know what I'm saying, being communicative? You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying off rip. We should work towards that, you know what I'm saying? Work on, okay, let's go on this date so we have face-to-face time. And then after that, you know, you go about your merry way, you have your life. You say, okay, I enjoyed the day, boom, 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 let me know when you want to meet again. You know what I'm saying? Then if she texts good morning in the morning, I'm just like, all right, good morning. You know what I'm saying? How's your day? You know what I'm saying? But like all that act uninterested, show no emotions, and you gotta be disrespectful, talk a certain way, you can't be too direct, you gotta like smooth your way into the, it's like, bro, my nigga.
I'm good, bro. I'm good. Exactly. Couldn't do it, man. I mean, that's really the video, bro. That's really the video. Dating in 2025 and for the past few years, for a minute, man. For a minute, since I've been in high school. It seems like it's just manipulation, a bunch of capping, not something I would mess around with, personally. I'd rather work on myself, get where I need to financially, where I want to be financially, and now be in a position where if I actually want to look for something long-term, I can make that decision and understand where my bar is. Or if you just want to have fun, you understand that there's a plethora of women now that you can mess with. But now you have the freedom and you have the materialistic stuff, if that's what you're into, whatever that stuff is, and you can confidently express yourself. It's a whole different ball game. That's what some people either don't see or they don't care to, you know, want to at least make a real, actual, genuine attempt to get to that position. So hey, I'll read 3 comments. People really be out here trying to get over on everybody, even people they claim to love. Don't take it personal, my G. Yeah. Single, child-free, and at peace is the correct answer in 2025. Hey, man, whatever works for you. Like I said, I either get the partner that I want at the bar that I'm looking for them to be at, and they have exactly what I'm looking for, or I'm good, man. At the end of the day, if you want children, if you want to raise children, you can find a partner to do that. But if we're talking about a lifelong partner, there is somebody, 1,000% sure there is somebody out there for you. With over 4 billion women at least on this planet, or over 4 billion men on this planet. It don't matter. It doesn't matter. There's over 8 billion. I think we've crossed 8 billion. I have to look that up, but it's there, man. You can't settle. You cannot settle. Now nobody's perfect. We have imperfections, but we're talking about to the point where you aren't happy. You genuinely aren't happy. This is not at all what you signed up for. Or you have your set up non-negotiables. Once you have established that, then yeah, you can figure out real quick that this person may be that person or they're not, or, you know, some people like to manipulate, or some people like to cap to at the beginning, so that's another thing you gotta watch out for. But like I said, man, it's easy to say to drop somebody if they don't hit the person that you're looking for, but if you're years in and you've invested a lot of time, then I can see how it becomes a lot more tricky. Or if you have kids, then I can see how it becomes a lot more tricky. But if you're at the initial stages, then yeah, it's a whole lot easier. It's a whole lot easier. But again, if it's something more long term and you've been in it for a minute, then that's a different conversation. But yeah, man, that's the video, man. That's the video. Did I do 3 comments? I'll do one more. So dating nowadays is pretty much cooked. Let's leave it at that, man. What y'all think below? Let me know, and we leave it at that.